Hi, you guys want to fly to what's considered the most dangerous approach in the world? Well, let's do it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back on board Waypoint's Aviation, back in our Airbus A320. And as I said in the beginning, and as you might have noticed in the title of this video, yes, we are flying to Bhutan. And more specifically, we're flying to the city of, we're flying to the airport of Paro. Now, Paro is considered one of the most dangerous airports in the world, and that's simply because the procedure to get in there is not your usual ILS, capture localizer and fly in, or RNAV, take it down to minimums and then just disconnect the autopilot and land. No. This airport has you flying high over very high mountain terrain, and then you basically go visual into a valley where you're then going to attempt an approach, which requires you to do some pretty steep turns just before touching down, with the wingtips literally clearing the edges of the mountains by feet. So it's not for the faint of heart, and yeah. The Airbus A320, ironically, is the largest aircraft that can potentially land there. All right, so and there is a daily operation in Bhutan that operates, I believe, an Airbus A319 in and out of Bhutan every single day. So that's what's coming up now in the video. So stay tuned, and this is going to be a very interesting one. If you've been following our adventures, you'll know that in the last video we did a marathon 5 countries. We visited all of the countries in Central Asia, and we ended that video right here in Kyrgyzstan, in the city of Bishkek, specifically Manas International Airport, which is where we are right now. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take us from Kyrgyzstan to Bhutan. All right, and this is going to be a non-stop flight, and yeah, so stay tuned for that. And guys, for those of you who are subscribed, thank you so much. I mean, guys, 22,000 subscribers. You kidding me, right? This is amazing. Thank you all so much for subscribing, and it really means so much to us. And just really appreciate it, guys. And for those of you who are not subscribed, if it's your first time here to our channel, welcome. We are Waypoint's Aviation. We are a simulator operator based in Dubai, and basically this simulator that you see me recording in is open to the public. So our primary business is we help pilots who are going through type rating or who are about to go through type rating. We basically do a pre-type rating course and get them all prepared for the type rating. Or if you're already a pilot and you want to keep your skills up, you can book a session in the simulator and come and fly it. Or if you're an enthusiast and you just want to experience what it's like to fly enclosed in an actual cockpit versus behind a PC, it's open to you as well. And we have no restriction on age or gender or whatever. No restrictions. Everybody's open. It's publicly available to everybody. So that's who we are. And of course our YouTube channel serves our YouTube channel was created to serve the aviation community and deliver the best tutorials that we could do, and help you guys out, in learning and mastering this beautiful beast we call the Airbus A320. Anyway, enough said. Let's get over to flight planning, and let's plan our flight over to Bhutan, and yeah, let's get on the way. See you guys at flight ops. All right, here we are, ready with our flight planning, and so I went into SimBrief and I plugged in the usual details. Waypoint's Aviation 320, that's our flight number. We're starting from Manas International Airport in Bishkek, which is UCFM, to VQPR, that's the ICAO code for Paro in Bhutan. And our alternate today is going to be Kathmandu in Nepal, that's VNKT. All right, we are a 320-200 Alpha 6 Alpha Mike November. We're looking at a block time of 3 hours and 36 minutes of flying time, of total block time, and an air time of 3 hours 11 minutes. Cruising at initially flight level 350, excuse me, with a cost index of 25 and a route distance of 1483. All right. We're going to be taking with us about 12 tons of fuel, block fuel, en route burn is going to be about 8.3 tons, giving us a takeoff weight of 71422, but that will change when I put the final figures in. And as you can see here, we're going to be basically taking off right from here, heading towards the southeast, and then heading east, and then we make our way again southeast again, all the way down over here, where we will basically make a turn and then come over to this waypoint here and then start our descent in to Bhutan. And if anything goes wrong along the way, we can go over to Kathmandu. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much the plan that we have for today, and we're going to be using the Raksat 1 SID. Runway 08 is expected today. Because the weather. All right, so let's quickly look at the weather right over here. So if we come into Navigraph and we put UCFM and check the weather, so the weather right now is we're looking at winds of 110 at 6 meters per second, and it's good visibility with scattered clouds at 6,600 feet CBs actually. Temperature of 16 with a dew point of 11 and a QNH of 1021. So given that the winds are coming out of 110, then we could definitely look into using runway 08. All right, so that's pretty much what we got going over there. We're parked right over here at 4 Lima, and it's going to be a quick pushback and taxi down via Alpha to Alpha 1, and then we're off on our way. Our SID today, which is going to be the Raksat 1, we're looking at plate number 10-3 Alpha, effective the 6th of October. It's for Bishkek in Kyrgyzstan. So we take off initially on a heading of on a track rather of 075 degrees, and then right over here, if it's category Charlie, at 2,800 feet, we'll make a right-hand turn to 120 degrees, and we'll fly to Tokpa, where we gotta be at flight level 60 or above, and then onwards to Raksat, where we'll be at flight level 170 or above, and then onwards onto the airways. So that's pretty much what we're looking at in terms of our in terms of the departure. And yeah, so the minimum safe altitude in that region will be 13,200 feet due to the mountains we'll be flying over, and you got 4,500 in this side and 5,900 on this side. In case of an emergency and we need to come back, we can technically use an ILS for runway 08. All right, so in case something goes wrong, we'll basically just vector ourselves right back around here and then come and land on runway 08. All right, that's the with an ILS. So that's the plan I've got so far for the departure. In terms of our taxi, let me see if I can bring up the parking stand. So yeah, we're right over here. We're parked over here in this apron right here. So it's going to be a pushback, maybe nose right, and then we'll taxi down Mike 6 and then onto the Alphas and then Alpha 1. And if you wanted to see that on the map, as you can see, here is our flight plan right over mountainous area and into the ultimate of mountainous areas, the Himalayan range, essentially speaking. All right, and that's where we're going. And if I zoom into the airport map of Bishkek, you can see right there, here we are. So we're going to be we're at Lima 4, pushing back onto Lima, then Charlie, then onto Alpha. That's our taxi route for today. All right, should take I'm going to take about 10 minutes of 15 minutes of taxi fuel. That should be more than sufficient for us. And I guess that's it in terms of our departure and in terms of the routing. You can see all the airways that we have to fly over as we get over there. And then lastly, performance. So I've plugged in all the details and taking the weather into consideration. We've got a flaps 1 takeoff today with a trim of up 0.4, flex temperature of 52, and we've got our speeds 148, and 152. All right, so that's what's happening today, guys. Very shortly, and yeah, I'm gonna get back in the cockpit now, program this into the MCDU, and just set up everything, and then I'll get back to you when we're ready for push and start. See you guys there. Welcome back to the cockpit, and we're fully set up on the MCDU. I have programmed in all our parameters.
We are ready for pushback.
Oh, thank you. All right, cool. Okay, so we're pretty much ready. All our parameters have been put in. Flight level 350, flight plan, everything's inserted. 1480 on the nautical miles. Secondary flight plan's already been set up to bring us back to Manas International in case we have an emergency. Radnavs, we've hard-tuned the Manas VOR into the Radnav. I've cross-checked the ILS frequency and the course.
Departure check Skyrim permitted. Bypass pin inserted.
Okay, cool. All right, and finally our performance figures are in there. Flex 52, flaps 1 with a trim of up 0.4, and there's our takeoff speeds. All right, so it's pretty much all set up right now. I need to get the fuel pumps going, and I need to start the APU. All right, all good. APU is coming on, and then I'll be ready for push and start. So just waiting for the APU to start.
Locking gear.
All right, thank you. Locking the gear, very good. So we're gonna push back, nose right, tail left. That's the plan, in theory. Once the APU is available, of course. And I can go ahead with the preparation. I can do the the cockpit preparation checklist. While we're waiting, it's gonna be gear pins and covers. They're removed. Fuel quantity is checked. 12.2 tons on board. Seatbelt signs are on, and the IRSs are in the nav position. And the barrel reference is 1021 and cross-checked, so that's good over there. Initial climb to flight level 180. All things looking good there. I can even do the before start checklist now, which is going to be parking brakes. They are currently on until the nice lady tells me to remove them. Takeoff speeds are inserted into the box. Takeoff speeds, all right, that's done. Windows and doors, they should be closed by now, so let me bring that up. Yep, all doors are closed, slides are on, and ready to go. APU is available. Let's bring the APU bleed on and disconnect the external power, and we can tell the ground crew to take that away. Thank you so much. All right, and then the beacon is the last item on the checklist is on. All right, so before start checklist is completed, we are now good to go. So we're gonna go nose right and nose right, tail to the left. All right, so I'll get back to you very shortly when we're just starting the push and starting these engines.
Release parking brakes, please.
Okay, parking brakes released off blocks. 0633.
All engines clear. Start at will.
All right, I will start at will. Thank you, Bishkek. It's been a pleasure. I shall see you soon. All right, coming over here. Ignition start. Brings up the engine page, and we're gonna go and start number 2. Oh, Manas International. By the way, for pushback and airport services, we're using GSX. All right, in case you guys want to know, that's how I get the pushback, and it's really useful. It's leaps and bounds better than the standard pushback in Microsoft Flight Simulator, because it actually pushes me properly onto a taxiway most of the time. But yeah. All right, so we've got N2 spooling up, N1 spooling up. Looking good. there's those CBs they were talking about. They're everywhere. Alright. I have my work cut out.
Please set parking brakes.
Yeah, when I said most of the time, you see, they could just push me here, so now I'm gonna have to manually turn. Okay, fine, whatever. Parking brake set.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine. Start.
Starting number 1. Alright, she's gonna disconnect and I'll just taxi over to the right and get us going. No biggie. Just waiting on engine number 1 to start up.
Unlocking gear.
Good for you. So how are you guys today? Good? Alright. If you're good, I'm good. Right. Okay, there's the tow truck. That clicking sound is our bus system transferring over to the
Control
engine.
disconnected. Bypass catering over there. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Thank you. Alright. Cool. So while waiting for her to show me the pin, I'm gonna go ahead with the after start memory items, which is this goes to normal. And I'll come up here, turn off the APU bleed. We do not need anti-ice, so I'll skip that and turn off the APU. Turn off the APU. Alright. Now, for the pilot monitoring, we'll arm the speed brake, reset the rudder trim, set the flaps to flap 1. There it is, flaps are moving. There she is. Thank you. And basically just trim the aircraft to up 0.4. There we go, up 0.4, and check the systems page. All systems are normal. We can now go for the after start checklist, which is the anti-ice is not required. ECAM status is checked, all systems normal. Pitch trim up 0.4 and rudder trim of 0. Lovely. So now time to do a flight control check. So I'm gonna move the side stick, and here we go. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, and neutral on the rudders. Full left, neutral, and full right, neutral. All right, rudders are checked. And yeah, guess we can just complete the rest of these items over here. And yeah, should be good to go. Predictive wind shear on. Can get the TCAS going as well. Ground reporting system 1 because I'm flying today. QNH today is 2105. All right, we can now do the taxi checklist, which is flight controls. We check them. Flap setting is config 1 plus F. Radar predictive wind shear is on and auto. Engine mode selector is back in the normal position, and the ECAM memo is takeoff no blue. So that's our taxi checklist complete. Now I'm just going to taxi over to the runway, and I'll get back to you where we will do the lineup checklist and so on. All right, see you guys soon. All right guys, here we are holding shot of runway 08. It's identified right over there and over there. And yep, now it's time to do the lineup checklist, which is going to be takeoff runway identified 08. TCAS can now go to TA and RA, and the packs 1 and 2 will remain on for this takeoff. So yeah, we've got our takeoff clearance, so it's time to go. Lights can come on, and it's time to taxi on over to this runway. Give about 30%. Releasing the parking brakes might help. I am heavy today, 71 tons. It's heavy for a 320. Alright. Okay, everything's clear on the left and we're looking clear on the right as well. So let's get going, guys. Off to Bhutan. Leaving Central Asia and going into South Asia. Here we go on runway 08. That windsock looks angry. No worries. Okay, let's go. You guys ready? Well, let's go. Off to Bhutan. Little forward pressure on the side stick, on the brakes. Give it 50% N1. Both engines stabilized and go click into flex. Release the brakes. Start the timer. Man flex 52, SRS runway, auto thrust blue. And now we just use our rudders and maintain center line as best we can. Takeoff thrust is set. All systems are in the green. There's 100 knots. Centralize the side stick. V1, rotate. Here we go, we're airborne. Positive rate and landing gear up. Gonna climb to 2,800 feet and then we're going to go ahead and start our turn. Okay, there's 2,800. Flight director is guiding me to make my turn. And thrust reduction acceleration is going to happen at around 3,570 feet. There we are, lever climb. So bring this back, one click. There we go. Thrust climb, auto thrust white. And we're climbing away. There's our CVs. Alright. Shouldn't be a factor as we climb right through them. Alright, we've got the transition flashing, so set in standard and standard over here, and we're crossing 4,400 now. Cross-checked. Not much to do now except for the next intercept point where we will then intercept the SID outbound. It's raining over there in the distance. It's actually pouring down in rain, and that's exactly where we're heading. Cool. That's good. We're on course. Autopilot 1 on. AP1. And now we relax a little bit. Awesome. So now that we're flying, we're airborne, climbing up. We've got to be flight level 60 at that next waypoint over there. We are already above flight level 60, so we're keeping with our constraints. Whole lot of mountains over there. So yeah, we'll see as we get up and above all this terrain. I'm gonna try and climb a little bit faster. So as soon as I go beyond the S speed and I go flaps up, I'm gonna lock the speed. I'm gonna go selected speed onto our clean speed, which is right now S speed. So speed check, flaps up, disarm the spoilers, and the outer lights go off. And you see that little green dot that represents our clean speed. So I'm going to now pull and bug it at the clean speed, and then I'm gonna pull for an open climb to flight level 180, and as you can see now, that's going to give us a higher rate of climb. that's going to help us to climb faster and get hopefully get up and above this weather. And now the next thing that would be left to do is the 10,000 checks coming soon. Yep, we're climbing at a decent 3,500 feet a minute. Here we go. Here comes 9,000, or flight level 90 rather. Nice tailwind pushing us along. That I really appreciate. Okay, here we go. 10,000 checks. Outer lights go off, but I'm gonna keep the seatbelt signs on because we do have some weather in front of us, and we could generally go faster than 250 now, but I'm gonna keep the speed locked at 228 so that we can continue this rate of climb faster. There's a slight pocket over there. There's a little gap right there. I'm going to be shooting for that gap to get us up and above these CBs. All right, and yeah, and then I'll keep the seatbelt signs on for now, and then I can go airports, come down here, and I'm going to go RadNav, and I'm going to auto tune our VORs, and I'm going to go secondary flight plan copy active, and come back to the performance page, and yeah, pretty much good to go. I can also change this from UCFM, which was our departing airport, to VQPR. And there we go, 1,169 miles to go. Excellent. Alright, so we're going to be initially going to flight level 330 to maintain our optimums, and then we'll go on as it allows us to climb higher. Alright, so let's assume we are cleared for that. So I'm going to go 330 set. Now, to change that, alright, to change this, the cruise and altitude set, to what you've dialed in here, it's very simple. You just put 1 in the scratch pad and do that. It sets it as 330. Alright, that's a little cheat that you guys can use. And this is an impressive looking cloud. I'll be making a left turn soon right through that little gap over there, so I should be alright. The temperature is now 0 degrees, and so I need to turn on the anti-ice. Anti-ice is on until we get over these clouds. Alright, get back to you guys when I reach my cruise. Well, we've reached our cruising altitude of flight level 340, and as you can see, we're maintaining 340 with a true airspeed of 451 miles an hour. We've got about 1,268 miles to go, and as of right now, we're maintaining our optimum altitudes. When that changes, I'll request a higher altitude and go up. But as of right now, a bit of a crosswind at 43 knots, but should be okay. Coming up over these mountains over here, and then basically into a whole lot of flat land, and then again the Himalayan mountain range starts. So that's pretty much what I've got to do as of right now. So yeah, guys, thank you so much again for joining, and for those of you who are not subscribed, if you like what we do, hit that like button and please subscribe. And it'll be a pleasure and honor to have you guys with us on this journey, which has us going around the world in an Airbus A320. We've already done the Middle East, we've done Central Asia, and now we're just going to be doing South Asia before we work our way into Africa. So yeah, that's the plan. So, and yeah, I mean, just look at how beautiful that is. Even though it's a flight simulator, it's amazing. I believe this region where we're coming up over belongs to Mongolia. Yep, this whole region here belongs to Mongolia, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, we'll be skimming just past Tibet and then down into Bhutan. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're going. Cool. All right, guys, get back to you shortly when we're about to start preparations for our approach, descent and approach and landing into Bhutan. All right, get back to you guys. Okay, what's going to be a few seconds for you guys is probably going to be 3 hours for me, but I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, it's been 2 hours and 14 minutes and we made some pretty good time, helped out by a very nice tailwind along the way. And just got a master caution, fuel crossfeed. It's telling me my fuel is going to be low for some reason. I have no idea why. I'll monitor that, no worries. Crossfeed on. Okay, let's get the crossfeed on and let's just clear that message and we'll take care of that. Alright, so we just crossed within 200 miles of Bhutan and it's basically right over there. Alright, so now we need to get into the computer and plan our descent and brief our approach. And guys, I give you the Himalayan mountain range. Alright guys, let's go over into the computer and let's program this. Let's get into planning this flight. So what I'm going to be doing is we're currently we just crossed our a waypoint which was north. I'll tell you in just a second. It was north 29 degrees and east 90 degrees. So that's the waypoint we crossed, which is basically this waypoint right over here. All right, it was a manual waypoint we had to enter, and now what we need to do is we need to make our way towards a waypoint called Getcho. All right, and our maximum speed there is going to be 230 knots with a altitude of 17,500 or higher. And I'm referring to plate number 10-2, which is effective the 23rd of April. It's for Paro. It's an RNAV star. Okay, so what's going to happen is we're gonna get from where we're coming in from the north. We'll go to Getcho. All right, and then from Getcho we're planning to do an RNAV approach into runway 15. So I'm referring to plate number 12-20. It's for Paro International, and it's applicable to aircrafts of category Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. So the 320 sits in category Charlie. It's an RNAV Zulu for 15 and runway 33. We're going to quickly look at the weather right now. And the weather in Paro is the winds are 160, 16 knots, good visibility, scattered clouds at 4,000 feet, and also scattered clouds at 8,000 feet, with a temperature of 28 and a dew point of 12. QNH is 1018. Transition altitude is 18,000 feet. All right. So what's going to happen is from Getcho, which is right over here, we're going to make our way to Papa Romeo 854, and then we're going to Papa Romeo 852, 16,100. Then to Papa Romeo 850, 15,800, that's our altitude constraint. Then we will reach Papa Romeo 820 with a maximum speed of 185 knots. We'll then make a right-hand turn to Papa Romeo 724 and make our way across all of these. And then the airport's going to be basically to our north from here. And then we're going to make our way across over here at Papa Romeo 799. We've got an altitude of 13,800. All right. And that's going to be the critical altitude that we're going to get to, because what's going to happen is we're going to be flying. Here's the airport right over here that sits in this very narrow valley right over here. So we're going to make our way to this point here, Papa Romeo 816, where we have to be at 13,800 feet with a maximum speed of 145 knots. All right, and as you can see, 816, 13,800, and then we basically descend at 3.5 degrees down to our minimums, which is going to be for category Charlie 10,320. So we will descend. So from here we're going to be following along, descending into the valley to around 10,200 feet, 10,300 feet. All right, and then from this point on, we're going to be visual. All right, we're going to be turning off the flight directors. We're going to be using the bird, and we're basically just going to be flying into this valley. Now once you get into the valley, there's a little river like that we will be following. We will follow the river, and then just over here at the edge of this peak here, there's going to be a monastery. That monastery is our visual cue and what we'll be aiming for. Okay, and once we're flying towards the monastery, we will be able to see the runway just over this peak over here, which is when we will make a visual steep right hand turn and then followed by a steep left hand turn to intercept the runway. We'll still be in the bank when the runway is in front of us, leveling the wings as quickly as we can. And yeah, so this is going to be one of those crazy ones. And in case of a missed approach, we climb into 16,000 on the RNAV RNP missed approach track to Papa Romeo 777. And then at 777, Papa Romeo 777, we hold and we start a new approach via Papa Romeo 777. So that's pretty much the procedure. So here's the go-around procedure. If you don't make it, we have to immediately initiate a go-around and climb up to flight level 1 or to 16,000 feet, and then we restart this whole approach again, coming back, from Papa Romeo 777 all the way back again, and onto that. So this is that's the plan that we've got, and that's what we're going to do. And in terms of the airport, we've got a 7,431 foot runway, just 2,265 meters. Runway 15 is what we're shooting for. And yeah, this sits at an elevation of 7,364 feet above sea level. All right. And then once we do land in Paro, as you can see here, we are making our way towards our waypoint. Once we do land in Paro, it's then going to be exiting off the runway and then taxiing down this way to the gates, which are right over here. So yeah, that's the plan, guys, that we're going to do. It's going to be medium auto brakes for this landing because I want as much braking force as I can get. Now I'm going to head back in the cockpit, program this in, and do my calculations. So I'm currently at flight level 360, and I'll be leaving flight level 360. So 360 minus 13,000. Let me see, 13,800. All right, so 36,000 minus 13,800 means we have to lose 22,200 feet, say 23,000 feet. Gonna multiply that by 3 and add 5 as a contingency. So at about 72 miles away from the airport is when we're gonna start our descent. All right. So I'll get back to you guys shortly when we're just starting our descent. Back to the cockpit now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready. I've programmed in my flight plan. Everything's good to go. As you can see, I've put in get show right over there. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, we got get show with our constraints in there, and then it's going to be following along with all those constraints until we move our way onwards towards Papa Romeo 816, which is right over there, where we got to be 145 knots and 13,800 feet. All right. So I'm going to be configuring the aircraft very early just to make sure we get there on schedule. And yeah, and I've set my 72-mile ring right over there, which is when we're going to start our descent into VQPR. So coming over here, gonna put VQPR 15 for the runway, and I've also programmed in all the parameters for the approach, the QNH, the temperature, the winds, as well as the minimum altitude. And yeah, so now we come over to our fuel predictions, secondary flight plan, copy the active, and that completes us doing the hat. So all that's left to do now is to essentially start the approach and descent into Paro. Alright, so this is going to be a manual landing, and of course this is going to be auto brakes low. And because we are going to be doing a not very normal procedure into the airport, we will be turning off the terrain radar once we get close to those peaks, because we don't want this thing shouting, you know, while we're there. So yeah, that's the plan, guys. I've got about 40 miles before I reach my top of descent, and then we're gonna set everything up, start the descent, get back to you when I'm just right over there. Alright guys, we're just crossing the point where we're gonna start our descent, top of descent right now. So it's time to get to work. Let's put in 13,800 here. So 13,800. There we go, set. And let's commence the descent. Alright, descent and approach. Here we go. The aircraft is starting its descent. Gonna get the seatbelt signs going. And since we are going to be going below, directly down to below transition, which is 18,000, I'm gonna set the QNH now to 1018. Set it on both sides, 1018. And yeah, all we have to do now is just make sure we get there safe. Alright, so descending now towards Getcho. We're about 63 miles away from Getcho. It's right over there, and looks like we're going to be on profile. And as you can see, there's the whole approach right over there with the runway direction in that side. So we're going to go around the airport. The airport sits right over there. We're going to go around the airport and then get there. Okay, so I'll get back to you guys really shortly when we're about to do the approach. In fact, I'll get back to you when we're just at Getcho, alright? Alright guys, we're descending and we're just about to get towards Getcho, making our turn towards it. Just 3.7 miles away from Getcho. And from then on, it's going to be descending down towards 13,800 by the time we reach Papa Romeo 816, I believe. Yeah, Papa Romeo 816 has got the constraint of 13,800, speed of 145. So I've already activated the approach phase, so the aircraft is maintaining the green dot speed right now, and that's going to help us out in keeping the aircraft at the correct speeds for this approach. All right, I've also turned off the terrain radar, which is this guy over here, and so we don't get any GPWS yelling at us, you know, while we're making our way in. The runway is right over there, somewhere just beyond those peaks over there. So as we make our way down, it's going to become more apparent where the runway is. In the meantime, I'm going to do the approach checklist, which is barrel reference 1018. The seatbelt signs, they are on. The minimums are set to 10,320, and auto brakes are medium for this approach, and the engine mode selector is normal. So approach checklist is completed. And yeah, so now as you can see, the next waypoints, we got to be at 16,100 feet or higher. We're pretty much okay on the profile for that. And after that, it's going to be 15,300, and then this waypoint here has got a speed limitation of 185, so I will be retracting the flaps once I get there. The temperature is 7 degrees, and there are obviously visible clouds in the area, so we're going to turn on the engine and wing anti-ice just to make sure we don't get any slushy stuff sticking to the aircraft. Okay, descending nicely. Says we're about 21 feet above where we should be, but that's okay, we can very quickly fix that. No problem. Alright, now in preparation for that, which is going to happen in just about 10 miles, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go selected, and I'm going to set 185. because that's the maximum speed. And as you can see, it goes below that that flap restriction, so I'm gonna go ahead and give myself flaps 1 now. Flaps are coming out. Status page says the GPS terrain's off. That's okay, we're gonna clear that. All right, we got 1 notch of slats, and when we go below that, it's gonna be 1 notch of flaps as well very soon. So the speed is now coming down nicely to 185. I can use the speed brake to help me reduce that speed even faster. There we go. All right, there's 185, and we are below the VFE for flap 2, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to store the speed brakes, give myself flaps 2. That's gonna help me keep the aircraft speeds under control as we get deeper into this terrain. And as you can see, we are here, we're making our way, and then what's going to happen is we're going to come over here to Papa Romeo 816, which is right between 2 peaks. I can't really see them right now because of the cloud cover, but trust me, they're there. Okay, so speed is 185 maximum. I can probably slow it down to 180, and yeah, we should be good to go. Once we start the turn here, I'm actually going to be getting the landing gear down and going for full flaps by the time we get to Papa Romeo 816, so that we'll be fully configured for the manual flight into the valley, which we cannot see right now. I mean, if I zoom out a little bit, the airport is right on our 3 o'clock, right over there, behind those clouds, behind those mountains. That's where the runway is. So yeah, let's see how this works out, guys. And to think there are pilots who do this day in and day out, every single day. Hats off to you guys. I believe the airline is called Druk Air or something like that. They're the ones who operate A319 in and out of Paro, and it's a regular scheduled flight. Pretty cool. But you know what? As tricky as this approach is, just look at the view. How beautiful that is. It's amazing. Some tall snow-capped mountains in the distance over there. Alright, descending nicely. Temperature's coming up to 8 degrees now, but I'll still, when the temperature goes above 10 degrees, then I'll get the anti-ice, the wing and engine anti-ice off. Alright, now we need to be 13,800 by the time we get there. So profile tells us we're good. Yeah, just 4 feet deviation, which is okay. GPS primary accuracy is high, so that's looking good as well. Now I'm gonna start the turn very soon. We've got essentially 26 track miles to go. Okay, turning to Papa Romeo 730 now. 13,800 or higher is our altitude constraint over there. Okay, so according to this, the airport is just right over there, so it's literally behind that peak, which is where we're going to find the valley. So yeah. Okay, in anticipation for that speed constraint of 145, I'm going to slow us down now to 140. And I'm gonna go ahead and get the landing gear down now and give us flaps 3, arm the speed brake and get those lights on as well. Temperature's 9 degrees, so I'll still keep the anti-ice on for now. And in fact, I think I can keep it at 160 for now. Yeah, and then I can slow us down later. Because the gear is out, so that's gonna work like a massive speed brake for us to help us slow down. All right. So right over there is when we're going to go flight directors off, autopilot off, and then we're just going to follow down into the valley, and we're looking for a for that monastery. We'll follow a river down to a monastery, and then we should be able to get visual of our airport by then. Yeah, looking good. $14,700 and descending. Alrighty. Yep, these are the two peaks that we'll be flying in between to get down into the valley, which is just behind here. Alright, slowing the aircraft down as we turn towards Papa Romeo 816. In fact, I'm going to manage the speed and I'm going to go flaps full. Okay, flaps are full. So far so good. Here we go, right between these two peaks is where we're going to be descending. And the go-around altitude here is 16,000, so I'll be setting that very, very shortly. Alright. Imagine having a house right here on the top of this peak, watching the aircrafts fly by. Awesome. I think I got my retirement plans set. Bhutan it is. I mean, such a beautiful country. Noted to be one of the happiest countries in the world, apparently. But I'll let my buddy Kivinus clue you in on all of that. Alt star. Okay, guys, I'm pretty much ready to go manual now. It's a little bit more cloudy and hazy than I anticipated, but we should be okay. We should be good to go, guys. All right, autopilot's coming off. Flight directors off. Bird on. Runway track 151. Keep us descending now into that valley. 151 and go around altitude is 16,000 set. Alright, all good. Into the valley we go. And my goodness, is it hazy. But I've got this to follow, so I kind of have an idea on what I need to do. Want to get this aircraft down as quickly as possible. And that's the thing, when it comes to if you're doing a video with live weather, you're just gonna have to deal with it. Alright, I'm looking for that river and I can't see the monastery up ahead. I do see the monastery. All right, there's the river right there. I don't know if you guys can make it out, but there's the river, and the monastery is right over there. Just there, straight ahead is the monastery. So we're gonna keep it descending. Gonna give a little bit of a slip to try and lose that airspeed while we get down.
100 above. Minimum.
Checked. Okay, getting it to about 8,000.
2,000.
Alright. I literally side-slipped the aircraft, so I gave full rudders just to side-slip and bring us back in. Okay, now as we're following, keeping the monastery in front of us, we should be able to see the airport in the distance very shortly. Just 1,100 feet above the ground. Where's the airport? It should be right behind this peak over here.
1,000.
I see the runway. There it is, a little hazy. But we're good. We're committing now for the turn. We're literally going to skim this mountain over here while continuing to descend. I can barely see it, but yeah, we're good. We're good. Continuing the descent.
Think rate.
Yes, yes, I do know.
Pull up.
And here we go.
Think rate. 300.
Alright, working that side stick. I'm literally bringing the power to idle now because I really need to touch down
200.
here.
Think rate. Pull up.
Okay, bring that nose up.
Pull up. 30, 20. Retard.
Here we go. Slide bounce. Rudders. Spoilers. Reverses green. And decel. And we're on the runway, guys. We're on the runway. It wasn't a pretty landing. It wasn't a soft landing. But we made it. Okay, auto brakes are going off. And I'll turn the brake fans on. And we're just gonna taxi to the end of the runway. And then get off at the end. So guys, welcome to Bhutan. We made it. I was a little skeptical when I was almost not level at that last minute there, but I managed to get the wings level, and we landed firmly, quite firmly, but we made it. Yeah. So now it's time to just get it off onto that taxiway. 27 degrees down here. Okay, gonna use the brakes a little bit, and we're gonna turn. Okay, clean up the airplane, get the APU going. TCAS can go off now. Weather radar can go off as well. Landing lights off, that goes there. And we can turn off the wing anti-ice as well. And start the APU. And there we go, guys. That would complete the after landing checklist, and welcome to Bhutan, a very hazy Bhutan. Alright, let's do the after landing checklist, which is radar and predictive wind shear should be off, and that is off. Well, hope you guys like that. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward until it's time for the final approach. Then nothing straightforward about it. It's basically get into the valley, get down to about 9,000 feet, make sure your speed is okay, and then do that maneuver that's gonna get you to line up with the runway. And then it's this is not one of those airports where you grease it onto the runway. This is where you touch down with significant force to make sure you get the traction on the runway, and then use the auto brakes to slow you down. So yeah, that was it, guys. we are now in Bhutan. Lovely. Just making my way over to the terminal. Let me see if I can request my gate. Alright, it says to request for a parking. I'll take number 6. Alright, parking number 6 has been assigned to us. You can disconnect, put that back on again. And if you turn on the terrain radar now, whew, look at that, red all over the place. Some of them as high as 16,000 feet. Interesting. And that took me 3 hours 21 minutes. And in typical Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 fashion, Qantas flies here. In fact, they send a is it a 737? Very interesting. Alright, let's see. That goes off. APU is available. I can get the APU bleed on now as well. Hey, Qantas! Good day, mate. No offense to any Australians watching. But yeah, let's see. Gate number 6. Gate number 6. Or parking number 6. Beautiful airport. Wow. It looks like a monastery. Oh, Kenya Airways is here as well. Interesting. Alright, there's number 3, 4, 5, and 6 up ahead. After the dash 8, I guess. Beautiful, beautiful airport. I mean, no wonder the people here are known to be the happiest people on the planet. Just look at where they live. Lights are going off in anticipation for our turn. Here's number 6. Turning in. There's a dude on top of that thing over there. Oh, it's a lady. Alrighty, parking brakes come on, and we're gonna go ahead. Alright, shutting down 1, shutting down 2. Beacon, everything goes off. Fuel pumps off, cruise supply off. And we can now do the parking checklist, which is parking brakes and chocks, they are on. Engines, they're off. Wing lights are off, and the fuel pumps are off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bhutan in Paro. Welcome to Paro Airport in Bhutan. Thank you, nice lady. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and this has been one of the more challenging ones for me as well. But it was good fun to do it. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. More fun videos to come. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a lovely day, and God bless you all. Bye bye.
Hi, do you live in Dubai, or are you in the United Arab Emirates? Are you an aviation enthusiast? Do you play Flight Simulator on your computer at home? Would you like to have the ultimate experience of flying an Airbus A320 in a real cockpit environment? Or are you a real-world pilot and you're looking to practice for an upcoming airline assessment? Or do you just want to master the Airbus aircraft? Are you a pilot looking to level up your knowledge and experience in instruments and navigation? Or maybe you're thinking of becoming a pilot in the future, but you're not yet sure if this is the path for you. Well, whatever your requirements may be, we're here for you. Book a session in our Airbus A320 flight simulator and come experience flying with a real-world pilot by your side as your instructor, guiding you along every step of the way. All ages are invited. Just scan the QR code or contact us via the details below for more information. See you guys in the cockpit soon.